Safe space.
Safe space.
Safe space.
Safe space.
Okay, so you talked about di ba, yung mga struggles mo. I wonder, paano ka nag-cope sa mga situation na yun? Ano yung, what supported you during that time?
Malaking part ng recovery and healing ko, yung the people around me, my support system. Kasi that time, may tendency ako na kapag mag-isa ko lang, talaga ilulubog ko yung sarili ko rin sa emotions ko. So, hindi siya naging helpful, but at the same time, importante rin yung moments na yun for us to really feel what we feel. Kasi they're all valid. And nung na-feel ko naman na parang, ay, sobra na ako. So, may ganun akong moment. Parang, okay na ako. Okay na tong 1 week. So, nag-seek ako ng help. I reached out to my friends na alam kong makakatulong sa akin. And I just talked to them. Hang out with them. Na parang I just spent my time with the people who matter. And sobra siyang naka-help kasi nakapag-process ako, nakapag-unload ako. And eventually, na-feel ko na, mas okay na ako ngayon. Kahit pa paano, nag-i-improve. And, kunyari, after that kasi, pumunta pa ako dito. Kasi from nanggaling ako sa Manila. So, I spent my time with my friends there. Pumunta ako dito sa Baguio. Nagmuni-muni lang. I spent my time alone rin and with God. So, I just prayed lang. I talked to Him. Sa Kanya ko lang rin in-unload lahat ng mga hindi ko kaya namang i-share with my friends. Kasi meron tayong ganun na kaya natin i-share sa friends, sa family lang, or yung sarili lang natin. But, there are things that hindi mo talaga kaya i-handle alone. So, what I did, I just surrendered everything. Nasabi ko, Lord, I can't handle this alone. Can you help me? And then, sinurrender ko lang lahat. And that's naging magaan siya for me.
Pero, how did you have the courage, like, to be honest with your people, your core people?
It was very hard. Yun yung pinakamahirap, yung i-acknowledge and maging honest about what you feel. Kasi may tendency rin tayo na gusto natin magtapang-tapangan. So, that time kasi, sobrang complicated na nangyari sa akin eh. Malala siya, na hindi ko na kailangan rin i-explain sa friends ko, sa family ko kung ano nangyari. Nakita na nila yon, naramdaman na nila. So, I appreciate them for being there for me. Na kahit hindi ko kailangan magsalita, hindi ko kailangan mag-explain, andyan lang sila. Their presence was enough. And, mahirap rin to acknowledge sa sarili mo eh. Pero I realized, kasi nag-seek nga ako ng professional help that time. Tapos na-realize ko na yung acknowledgement yung pinaka-importante dito. Kasi mahirapan akong mag-recover from this kung hindi ko muna i-acknowledge na okay, ito yung pinagdadaanan ko and ito yung nangyari sa akin. So acceptance, that's a very important part of it.
Pero totoo na yung acceptance sa part kasi until you don't acknowledge something, hindi mo maaano na nag-e-exist siya.
True.
Diba? If you don't acknowledge na nag-e-exist siya, paano mo isa-solve?
Meron nga saying na God can't heal what you don't reveal. So, hanggat hindi mo rin talaga ina-acknowledge sa sarili mo sa ibang tao na ito yung, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. Wala, andun lang yun.
Totoo. Parang, that acknowledgement puts the light on the shadows. And then, yun lang. Doon na magsa-start ang healing.
Yes. Aside from my biological ate, my ate Golda, I have a lot of ates na kina-consider ko ang mentors ko. So, yung ate ko noon, syempre siya pa lang rin yung pinaka-close sa akin nung bata ako. Grabe yung influence niya sa life, positive influence niya sa life ko. So, siya yung role model ko. Parang lahat ng gagawin niya, gusto ko rin maging ganyan. Nagpo-perform ate ko, gusto ko rin ganyan. Na eventually, nakaano ko nga, kahit papano, nakuha ko rin from her. And ang pinakamagandang influence niya sa akin is, when it comes to faith, kasi ate ko nag-introduce sa akin, nagdadala sa akin sa church before. She always prays for me. Lagi, hindi niya rin ako tinantanan noon. So, I'm very grateful for that. And aside from that, tumanda na rin ako kahit paano, And nag-transfer ako sa Manila. I met again a lot of people. Ate Apple, for example. Na-mention ko, pinost pa nga ng, ng Miss Baguio page yung sa interview ko, close door interview ko, na ang mention kong parang influential person in my life is si Ate Apple. So same, ang dami niya rin naging positive influence sa akin. Ayun, I feel like lahat naman tayo, we are a combination of the influences around us. And yun yung, kung sino ako ngayon, malaki yung role nila doon. So, yeah, I'm grateful for them. Each one of them. Marami akong mga ates and kuyas na nagka-guide and tumutulong sa akin.
Parang na-mention mo kasi nung Thanksgiving party niyo din na parang more than a beauty queen, yung the generation now parang needs an ate or something like that. Something to that effect. So, para sa'yo, ano ba ang qualities dapat ng ate or how important is an ate?
Super important. Ako bunso kasi ako. So again, growing up, malaki yung role and yung part ng mga ate, ng kuya ko, and the people around me dun sa principles ko, sa mga actions ko rin. So, I guess, nung sinabi ko siya na aside from a beauty queen, I really want the youth to have an ate. Yun yung unang pumasok sa isip ko that time na sabihin. Kasi I was looking at my co-candidates. So, sa Miss Baguio kasi, I am the oldest candidate. So, lahat sila parang tawag nila sa akin ate. So, para ako ang panganay nila. So, naging din siya, parang responsibility rin na they look up to me. So, possible na kung ano yung mga gawin ko, sabihin ko, there are chances na rin, parang hindi na magagayahin, pero ma-adapt rin nila. So, well, aside from being a responsibility, privilege rin siya for me. Kasi I get to serve them in a way na I get to leave an example and magkaroon ako ng positive impact sa life ng tao na to. So, my contribution. So, malaking bagay siya for me. Kasi beauty queens minsan very intimidating. Na parang untouchable yan. Na parang sobrang perfect naman yan. Sobrang ganda niya. Ganito siya. So, ayoko rin na ganun yung maisip ng ibang tao and makita nila sa akin. Kaya ko yun nasabi. Na gusto ko kapag nakikita nila ako, that's my ate. Parang hindi naman I want to be like her, but there are things or qualities na gusto ko ganun rin. Para in a way sila rin mag-strive rin nila. Kasi ako hindi ako perfect and I openly share that to everyone, especially on social media. Yun yung pinaka outlet ko na this is what happened to me, these are my struggles, pinagdadaanan ko to. So hindi ako perfect, they can see that. But kahit na nangyari yun lahat, but I also share with them. So this is what can happen to you as well kapag ganito rin yung ginawa mo. So parang ganun lang. Mas guide siya. Mas positive influence siya. Siguro mas relatable siya. And mas nakakatulong siya sa mga tao.
Anong gusto mo matutunan ng youth sa'yo? Anong gusto mo mapakita sa nila? Since you want to be an influencer, paano mo sila i-influence?
What kind of influence do you want them to see in you?
Siguro aside from not giving up, kasi marami talaga tayong pagdadaanan.
Totoo.
Marami talaga. Mahirap ang life. That's the reality. There's gonna be a lot of challenges along the way. Pero wag kang magpapatalo doon. And kailangan rin nilang matutunan na you can be imperfect. You can have a lot of flaws. But you can still shine your own light. I mean, hindi naman talaga ako perfect. Again, ayun na naman yung sasabihin ko. And alam naman ng lahat ng tao yan. But I get to be here, wherever I am right now, because I believed in my potential. As much as the people around me do. So, kailangan mo lang rin maniwala na kaya ko to. And hindi lang para sa'yo yun eh. Siguro ang pinaka naging inspiration ko is to do this not just for myself. na alam ko if I do this, it's more of, again, I did this for a greater purpose. Na lagi ko siyang sinasabi. Kasi kung ako lang to, sana naglaro-laro na lang ako. Parang, ginawa ko siya kasi I know na when people heard my story, they will also be inspired na, oh, that happened to her, but look at her now. So, if she was able to do that, then I can do that too.
Kasi wala kaming background sa pag-interview. Guys.
Wow, dami mo nang